All right, so you ready for mailbag day 2?
Boom.
Absolutely.
William Molina Jr., subject is Ole Anderson and Blackjack Mulligan. Hello, K1. Oh, excuse me. Hello, K100 crew. Jake Roberts recently characterized Ole Anderson as a bully. Sentiment that isn't entirely new. However, what stands out is the account of Blackjack Mulligan having knocked out Ole Anderson on a couple of occasions. In light of this revelation, do either Disco or Conan have any personal anecdote experience involving interactions with Ole Anderson or Blackjack Mulligan? I've met Ole like twice. I think I've discussed this before, and I thought the funniest thing about the guy was he just cussed like a truck driver. Like he always say like it was ridiculous. I'm like, but yeah, I've heard those stories about Ole Anderson and Blackjack Mulligan, but I don't know what the context was, if they were backstage or out at a bar, just like, but I heard, Blackjack Mulligan didn't take people. Ole Anderson would give people, I could see him like knocking the guy out,
Yeah. Plus, if you go back and you look at the Mulligans, Blackjack Mulligan and Blackjack Lanz, I think was his name, was the other guy's name.
Yes.
They were just two big old cowboy, could look like a tear in any street in America, not like, the teenage characters that we have nowadays trying to act tough when they're not. But these guys looked the part is what I'm trying to say, you know? And I think one of the Lanzas, which one was Jake the Snake's dad?
That was Grizzly Smith.
Grizzly Smith.
Oh, Grizzly Smith, my bad. I think Grizzly Smith, I'm confusing him with somebody. Grizzly Smith, I believe they're one of the Lanzas, worked backstage when I was there with the Max Moon thing.
The other Lanza.
Jack Lanza.
Blackjack Lanza.
Okay.
And Grizzly worked backstage at WCW around that time. So you probably, when you were there earlier, at 90 or whatever, yeah.
Next one's from Luke Smith. Subject is the change of AEW. This is our boy Luke from Down Under. Hey boys, happy holidays. Thanks again for the great content. So just observing the wrestling world the past few months, Disco got taken to task by Tony for saying the show needs a reset. Dave LaGreca from Busted Open Radio went into support for Disco and said it was a standard opinion. Disco was not derogatory to AEW. He literally just said the show needs a reset, replying to a question that Tony asked. And after Disco's tweet, what happened? Max Jackson's wife, Kevin Sullivan, and Raphael Morphy are all gone from the company. Dave went on to say that Tony Khan was a regular on his show, but now he refuses to come on as a guest, and he thinks it's because they gave the review of Dynamite. It's not always positive. When AEW was created, the constant message was they were going to be the opposite of WWE. The wrestlers won't be micromanaged. The pay-per-view shows won't go 5-6 hours. They will work with all the companies. Now, fast forward a few years, and what's happened? As a listener, I hear more WWE contracted wrestlers come on the K100 podcast and speak openly. Both companies do these media scrums, and Hunter answers questions to the media, and when Edge left, he gave an honest, respectful answer. Whereas Tony always says, I can't talk about that. Do you think that Triple H and Nick Khan have completely changed the culture and landscape of the WWE? I remember Vince Russo always burying WWE for making the boys work over Christmas. This year, they were given a week off to spend with their families. Kevin Nash said that the one thing Hunter is big on after his health scare is that family comes first, and it seems like by doing small things like this, it made WWE the place most of the guys want to be now. Happy holidays. It's Luke, or does WWE the place most of the guys want to be now is a question. I think that's kind of obvious, I mean, they see the business of one company's doing great business and the other company isn't. I mean, what do you any comment on that, Conan?
No, I would agree. I would think if you look at both of them, and you've got an option to go to, one of them, I would go to WWE. But
right. Next one's from RGX and subbed his newest NXT signing. Greetings and happy 2024, K100 crew. My question this time is regarding NXT's newest reported signing, female indie talent, former NWA Women's Tag Champ, Maddie Rinkowski. Before Conan said this, literally the email says, before Conan says who, she was trained by Jazz and Thunder Rosa and has also appeared on AW Dark. She isn't big in size, but has a personality that can only be enhanced by the WWF machine, and her character is that of an entitled millennial mean girl. Question for Conan. Have you seen or heard of her before? What are your thoughts on her potential in WWE? P.S. Below I have included a short Twitter clip of her and EC3 having a fun exchange backstage in NWA. Sincerely, RGX from the Yay. Do you have this clip, Joe?
Yep.
Let's see this. All right. Well, what did you think of that clip there, Conan?
All right.
Okay.
Funny.
I don't even know what was supposed to comment on that, so it was whatever. All right, next one's from JG. The subject is MJF Pop. Yo, I've been watching AEW closely, but I noticed when MJF came out on Dynamite on 12/27, he barely got a reaction. He used to blow the roof off. Kind of sucks now when he used to be the best thing going. Tony Storm, Swerve, my personal fave Christian Cage, are by far the best thing going on AEW right now. What do you guys think? Also, this devil garbage. LOL. Thanks as always. That's JG from Jersey. Yeah, I would say that the MJF's creative kind of like got to him a little bit. I don't think people really got into the devil storyline because he's making him kind of look stupid, you know? Like what's the pop supposed to be there? He's like buddying up to the guy that he's supposed to be wrestling. Like he was Joe's bud. Like him and Joe were doing buddy together, and that's how they're building for their match against each other. It's kind of weird, you know. He was better when he was roasting guys as a heel. What do you think, Conan?
Right, but he got over, and then he turned babyface, and he's oversaturated. And a couple of storylines like the Devil one, the Devil Mask, which I thought had an unfulfilling or underwhelming
Underwhelming.
Climax.
Yeah.
I'm just very curious and interested to see if his statement that his contract ran out isn't just a work, because I don't know. I mean, we're recording this as Dynamite's on. I'm very curious to see what's going on there. If he's a free agent, that's a huge story, man.
Well, it depends. It's a huge story if he signs with WWE. If he just re-signs with AEW, it's not that huge of a story.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Next one, Stephen Waters. The subject is today's wrestlers easily upset. Hello, guys. Firstly, thank you all for keeping me entertained with your show, and hopefully you all will have a good new year when it comes. If you read this before the new year. I'm a long-time listener, but this is my first time sending you all a question. Remember a while ago, The Undertaker thought today's locker room was totally different, maybe a bit softer from when he first got into business with wrestlers like Harley Race, Karen Gunn, etc. And now recently, CM Punk slagging off Adam Page for not going to the veteran wrestlers for help or advice because he thinks he doesn't need it. So my question is, with all you still in or still having connections in the wrestling business, is this just a millennial wrestler's mentality? Or do you think a lot of the wrestlers are just happy with the level they reach and happy being on TV? Thanks a lot, and I hope to hear from you all soon. That's Stephen Waters, just outside of Glasgow, Scotland. Johnstone, Scotland. Yeah, I mean, it comes across like that some of these guys are just happy to be on TV because they're making a fortune. You know, these guys got like a lot of money for signing with AEW. I heard like Adam Page got like $700,000 or $800,000 a year. I mean, that had to be like well above anything he'd been making. Like, what do you think those guys were making before? Like $100,000, Conan?
Where was he before? NXT or where was he?
Adam Page, Ring of Honor, and New Japan.
Yeah. I mean, how much were those guys making?
I don't know how much he was working in Japan. You know, that's always good money, but
it's not like $800,000 a year.
No, nothing like that.
Right. Yeah.
I wouldn't even say 200,000.
Yeah, right. Because when he was in Ring of Honor, he was the youngest. He wasn't Cody or the Bucks at that point. He was kind of, you know.
Cody, what was your first big payday? Like where you'd made exorbitant amount of money compared to what you had previously been making?
Yeah, losing my mask.
Losing your mask. It's years and years ago. How much did you get for it?
Yeah, over 25,000. So probably in today's money, it would probably be pretty close to. Well, back then, so this is 1990, and in Mexico, it was something like 35,000. So imagine how much that would be today.
Right. Yeah, because back then, like wrestlers were making like, I think there was a story that Arn and Tully and those guys, when they were going to do their contract, they were getting like 125 to like 250,000 a year, and they were really high paid guys. Right. You know what I'm saying? So imagine probably same. So, my first contract at WCW was a grand a week, and if I was on one of the top 4 matches on a pay-per-view, it got increased to 85,000.
Right,
and that's back in '95. 96. Like I got the bump pretty quickly because I was on the I forget what pay-per-view. It might have been the War Games pay-per-view, the 3-ring Battle Royal.
No, World War III.
Yeah, World War III. So I think it got bumped up for that. So I got lucky.
I think my very first one was somewhere between 50 to 75.
Right.
Yeah.